Greetings to Podcastville. The Church of What's Happening Now is brought to you by ZipRecruiter. You know how challenging it is to hire somebody? You know how hard it is to find a qualified candidate? It takes a long time and a lot of applicants. But with ZipRecruiter, it's easy peasy. Working a URL once at the beginning. Listen, all I want to say is this. Hiring used to be hard, multiple job sites, stacks of resume, a confusing review process. But today, hiring can be easy, and you have to go to one place to get it done. You ready? ZipRecruiter.com. That's it, and that's that. Do yourself a favor. They're the smartest way to hire. So right now, the church family can get ZipRecruiter. You could try it right now for free at this exclusive web address. Ready? ZipRecruiter.com/church. That's ZipRecruiter.com/church. ZipRecruiter.com/CHURCH. That's if you want to hire the tip-top people in the industry. The church is also brought to you by Onnit. Listen, you fly, you travel, you lift them weights, you need your supplements, you need your protein powder. Onnit is the way to go. Go to Onnit.com right now and press in.
Church.
Bam! And get 10% off.
Mean.
Delivered right to your crib. You understand me?
That's strong.
That's how we do it. Lee, kick this motherfucking mule. Are you fucking kidding me?
Lee,
You're like, Joey, where the fuck you been? We took the week off. It's the 4th of July. We're hanging out with Bubbles Gwinnett, signing the Declaration of Independence. We said, fuck it. I did Rogan wins. That's all you need. I want to welcome my brother Bret Ernst. I want to welcome fucking Lee Syatt.
Who's Bubbles Gwinnett?
Bubbles Gwinnett signed the Declaration of Independence, and I grew up with his fucking great.
He was a representative of Jersey City.
That's a real name?
Yeah, Bubbles Gwinnett.
Oh my God, it sounds like
I
a
grew up
stripper.
with Mike Gwinnett. Mike would always tell me, is it legit? I don't fucking know. Do I give a fuck? Who gives a fuck? I don't know.
He's a representative of
Yeah,
fucking
what do I give a fuck?
North
I don't know.
Bergen.
Yeah.
He was at the Continental Congress League.
Yeah.
Know your fucking history.
I'm sorry.
Bubbles Gwinnett. He's on that fucking thing there. I hope you had a happy 4th. I hope your families are back. But guess what? You're back. And there's the second half of the year, and this is what fucking matters. We went through the first half of the year. We're ready for the All-Star break. After the All-Star break, the year gets real, bitch. You're a month away from kids going back to school, pencil sharpeners. Then you got Halloween. Then you got a fucking big turkey that's been kicked in the fence for the last fucking year. Because I don't know about you, I like turkey that gets kicked in the fucking head.
Oh, my God.
And then you got the holidays, and then you got Hanukkah, and then you got New Year's, and then you got another year, of fucking, and you get older. So this is it, bitches. We're in the final stretch right now.
Yeah, it is.
The last 6 months of the fucking year.
Fucking organs
So write
heating
your
up.
goals. It was 1:17 on fucking Friday. I got sick Friday. Because at 5 o'clock, I said, you know what? Let me go outside and shadow box a little bit.
Oh, my God.
Did I tell you about that? No. I was going out to dinner with
At
my wife.
118 what? 118
Sure,
degrees.
I was sitting there bored. They weren't at the house. I was sitting there for an hour and a half. I couldn't take a walk. It was too hot. I go, let me go in the yard. Let me get high.
Yeah.
And let me just go out there and shadow box a little bit, get a little vitamin D. I sucked that fucking hot air in. Like, it's like blowing a fucking hot dick. Let me tell you something. I went back inside. I sat on the couch for like an hour dizzy. Every time I got up, I swear to God, I had to go in the shower and put it down to like ice cubes and just let it hit me in the neck.
Fucking shadow went in before you did.
Oh my God, it was hotter than fuck out there.
Oh, I finally saw the video you were telling me about that poor girl who got caught on the mountain.
What is it with fat people that want to go to Runyon Canyon? The hottest day of the year. Let me tell you what.
I can't stand that place.
I can't stand that
Fucking
place.
people doing Tai Chi in the park.
It is.
Like, go kill yourself.
Let me tell you something. So when I got here, we all got here with different women. I was just thinking about your girlfriend today, the one that was in the longest yard.
Yeah.
She's still around, right?
Yeah. She's still
around.
She's still killing. She's still.
You talk to her from time to time?
Yeah, well, the family, I've known her my whole life, so our parents still talk and everything. Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Like we all moved here
good
with
people.
with a chick, and now we look at that chick and we kind of like them, or we kind of think they're retarded.
I moved out here for a chick.
You moved out.
I
here
was
for
in
her?
New York, and then I moved out for her. Yeah.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. She was very nice.
Great kid.
She was very nice. She was booking a comedy room for a while.
Yeah. Saboba years ago.
But it's funny that she.
You're talking about your girl, the one you came out.
When I came out with her, like the third day here, she's like, "You're not gonna believe it. My friends told me that the place to go is right around the corner because we lived on Hollywood Boulevard, a block away from La Brea. So you have to walk up that block to go to Runyon Canyon. So Runyon Canyon is where when you first get here, people are like, oh, you have to go to Runyon Canyon. It's great. And you go up there when you first walk up there. When I first got here, there was no Tai Chi. It was a bunch of jerk-offs doing yoga. And then there was a lunch table. There was 2 lunch tables. And every day at 9:30, those tables, they were just 2 rows of chicks, of hot 20 to 27-year-old chicks.
Yeah, there's a lot of broccoli up there.
With fake tits and hats and makeup on, and they'd bring their sides. That's when you lose me. Sides are the sheets that they give you for an audition.
Writing a script.
So they would go to this park. So
Why are
you
you
go up there
writing
to
a script in a park?
They would go up there, and these girls would sit there in a circle. And I remember that the girl that I went with was one of these girls. Like, I was a fucking cokehead. I didn't want to go for a walk, but she was paying the rent. I wanted to eat her pussy, so you got to go for the walk. You know what I'm saying? That's what happens when you
pay your dues.
When you're fucking a brokester and you live with a chick. She wants you to go for a walk and eat her pussy. That's the deal. So I would go to Runyon Canyon with her, and I remember she was stretching one day like the jerk off that she was. And I was listening to the table of those girls talking. Not listening, like they were just talking loud.
Yeah.
And that's when Titanic came out. So Leonardo DiCaprio was out every night, Me Too and bitches.
Yeah, clipping everything.
He
with
was
Mike Young.
With Mike Young, Spider-Man 2, dude. You know, well, Mike Young was lighting their cigarettes and shit. You know what I'm saying? Mike Young was rubbing their shoulders. You did great. You know what I'm saying? Like, you did great. So fucking, they would sit there and talk about how they all went to Leo's house. And the other table, they were a little older. They were all sucking Jack Nicholson's dick. So they're talking about, oh my God, we were at Jack's last night. It was so interesting. And I think I went up there 3 times. And it just wasn't for me.
It's not like, you know, like the Chinese dudes doing the Tai Chi. It's like these weird white people doing this shit.
Like the one in San Francisco? You ever get up early?
Even the one in New York. Watch this. You see them doing that. I'm talking about just like weird white.
Yeah, wannabe
white kids.
Let me tell you that I care about society types.
Dude, I had a guy when I worked at the Cheesecake Factory come in, and this is just the type of dude. Like, he was like a white, you know, the white Asian, like the white people that take over like they embrace cultures and have nothing to do with them. Like, this guy had a fucking kimono on.
Yeah.
Right? He was just a jerk off guy. And that's how I got written up at work. But real quick, so he comes in, he greets me like, you know, with this, like, I'll smack this shit, you jerk off. So we're running the specials. I'm like, yeah, we have an Asian ahi served in a soy ginger sauce. It comes with Asian vegetables, right? Hand to God, he got offended that I said Asian vegetables. Like he was just a fucking, like to make me look like a dick. He's like, I'm confused. Like, what's an Asian vegetable? Like, I'm dead serious. So me being a fucking smartass, I made a joke. I said, oh, those are the, I got written up for this. I go, those are the vegetables that are better educated and are working harder and taking the other vegetables' jobs, you know, just as a joke.
And he went
fucking, he was pissed. I offended Powder, white guy. He had no pigment in a kimono, dickhead.
It's
But he's the type of guy that would be doing Tai Chi at the fucking, in the park.
That run.
I got written up a couple of times.
How long did you work at the Cheesecake Factory as a waiter?
First job I got when I came out here, I was delivering pizzas. I was working at the Cheesecake, and I was bouncing at a club in 3rd Street Promenade.
No
on Wednesday nights, yeah. And then I was getting up trying to do stand-up in the meantime. It's a hustle, man.
What a fucking hustle.
It is such a hustle. I was a grown man delivering pizzas. Not even like a fucking college kid. Like, I was like 30 in a fucking 97 Ford Escort. That you couldn't make fucking lefts or it would stall out. So I would, like, if I had to go here and make a right and then a right and then a right and overshoot it and make another right, you know.
How shitty is it being in your late 20s and early 30s and being a fucking loser? Because I was the king of the fucking losers. I delivered fucking pizzas. In the beginning of comedy, I was just sad. But I didn't care. Because
because we love what we were doing. There was the excitement on it, at least for me.
The obvious was being a criminal. And, you know, just being where we came from. That was the obvious at that point. I had already done my time. I had already gotten out. I said, what can I do? I go, let me get into this comedy. And then I delivered Chinese food. I sold Coke. I mean, I did 1,000 things to make ends meet.
Like, for me, I committed crimes, but I wasn't a criminal. And then there's guys that are criminal. Like, I talk about it, but...
We make mistakes.
Well, if people read my shit, like, when I go to Canada, they got everything. But when they read my stuff, they're not, like, going... You know, they're doing, like, you did that? You know what I mean? Like, you told the story about the night you turned yourself in. I was fucking
Let me tell you something. You have fucked up my head for the last 6 weeks since that night I saw you.
Yeah, you watched my set.
Because it was funny. And I heard you say that thing before, but for some reason that night it really took me by storm. He has a joke where he says that, when he grew up, that there was always those kids that were always out.
Yeah, there's that one kid that was outside all the fucking time.
At the age of 16, from 15, even a year before my mother died, to I left, I was always that guy.
You were always outside.
And it was me, a girl named Gina, a guy named Mike, there was a dude named John. There had to be 8 or 9 of us that had no curfew. We had families, because even when my mother was alive, I didn't have a curfew.
Mm-hmm.
My curfew was, after midnight, I want you to call me every hour on the hour and let me know where you are and what time you're going to come home.
Yeah.
Or what time you're going to call me back. That was a pretty cool curfew.
Oh, my.
How old were you?
From 14.
Really? You were out there then?
Yeah, from 14, 12 to 13, what time are you coming home?
Yeah.
I mean, that was the question.
I was
that
out,
was
but
how my mother asked me.
I had to sneak out. I would crawl out the window or, pretend to be at a friend's house, which everybody did that. But we were outside. My friend that had no supervision, we'd always just say we're at his house. This kid was always fucking outside.
Now, why didn't he have supervision? The parents didn't care. The parents worked.
He just was out of control.
He was out of control.
Yeah.
There had to be, and it wasn't really out of
no
control.
No father.
It wasn't.
That's
really,
a commonality, man.
Well, that's a commonality, but it really like what the girl, like there was a girl I hung with that was always out. Her mother left when she was 10. Just got up and left.
Yeah.
And kept in touch with the kids. Just told them the truth. I don't want to be a mom. I don't want to be a mom. She moved to Vegas and dealt cards. So the dad worked 9 to fucking 9. The dad ran a car dealership. And her and her brother were out all the time. And I also had a friend who had more money than you and I will ever fucking see. And his parents, I had 2 friends like that. This is the other option to that coin, too. I had 2 friends. I had one friend that his parents were doctors, both his mom and his dad. He would just go home to a box filled with money. He would go upstairs, take money, and take you out to dinner himself, to dinner. So
he bought his friends, or did you like the kid?
I really liked him.
Yeah,
we're friends on Facebook now. He's a science teacher. I mean, his parents ruined him because they sent him to be a doctor at the Dominican Republic. And they kept sending him $10,000 a month.
Oh my God!
So he was down there snorting coke and smoking weed. And he's been a pothead. Like when people say, "Oh, he smokes," "Oh, this guy's a head." Nobody's a bigger head than this guy. Was the first guy that took me into the city to get weed. Mm-hmm. Like he was maybe 2 years older than me, maybe a year or 2, 3 tops. He's the one that took me to a church in the village to cop. There was a fucking Catholic church in the village, and on Fridays downstairs in the bingo hall, the priest would look the other way, and they'd have like 3 dealers.
You used to come to my neighborhood to cop too, you said, right?
Yes, Staten Island?
No, Passaic.
Passaic?
Yeah.
I used to come to Passaic. I used to go, I didn't like the long drive. You don't want to drive with the drugs back in the car.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, there was a Cuban dude in Passaic that I used to go see for coke and shit like that, but that's a 30-minute drive with 2 in the morning.
Jersey City, going right through the Holland Tunnel.
Yeah, no. In New York, I grew up in North Bergen, so all I had to do was go over the George Washington Bridge and come back on the tunnel. It's a 20-minute ride.
Yeah.
It's really a 20-minute
like
ride. It's just all you do is go through the bridge, make a left, go to 181, cop, and just stay on West Side Highway till you hit the Lincoln Tunnel.
You didn't hit the Washington Heights, though?
Yeah, right there, 181.
Right
I was
at
at 181.
And Audubon?
All that. Yeah. All those. Amsterdam, Autobahn.
Yeah, you just walk down a neighborhood. You don't have to go 2 feet and somebody's going to be
like, oh my God. That neighborhood was right. That was, I think to me, I love that Port Authority. Like everybody loves Port Authority on 42nd Street. But for my taste, the Port Authority on 178th Street, they had an OTB.
Off track.
Downstairs.
Do you know what that is? You ever see that?
Oh yeah, the racing when you're just like it's like a 7-Eleven.
If you really want to fucking feel good about your life,
oh my God,
go into an off-track betting.
And you know what? I just
and
thought
see the fucking people that hang out there.
We should open up a combination off-track betting White Castle in the Midwest. You know how much money we'd make a combination White Castle off-track betting.
Oh my God.
I saw some wild shit over the years of off-track
crazy.
betting. Here's what's crazy. That for a while, I was going off-track betting.
Where really? Just doing
That's
the
when
horses?
you
What do you
know-
know about horses? Don't you have to know shit about
Because
horses?
I used to, in those days, I would look at the program and I would see there was a drug that you give to a horse to stop it from bleeding from the nose. There's a drug that they shoot them with. And every time that the horses would get shot with that, it makes them run faster. So I would follow the horses that would get shot with that on the radio. I knew people out in the track.
Did I tell you? My friend told me how they fixed the greyhounds. The people were they're so smart. Finish telling the horse story, but don't remind me of that.
You know, I grew up at the track. I know the track, backhand and forehand. Like, before my mom died, I would go to the track.
The Meadowlands.
Meadowlands.
Yeah.
And when
What was the name of the Pegasus?
The Pegasus.
Yeah.
My friend, God rest his soul, Vinnie Lynch was the head chef. In fact, Bubbles Gwinnett's brother, Bubbles Gwinnett, had a
Signed the Declaration of Independence.
great grandsons. And he had Michael Gwinnett, and his brother was also a chef at the Pegasus. You had to wear a dinner jacket to go
Yeah,
into
that
the
was like,
Pegasus.
dude, that was like a who
Let me tell you something about the Meadowlands.
of all the Jersey guys.
The Meadowlands in 1993 was as crazy as a place as I had ever seen in my life, Lee. Lee, you would have lost your mind. If I would have took you to the Meadowlands, how I had it in 93, I mean, from copping coke to getting your dick sucked to smoking weed to eating that red clam chowder they had with the fucking hard clams. It tasted like a fucking hard clit. Like if the lady died and she had been stiff for 4 days, that's how hard the clit was when you ate those clams at that fucking track. There was a chick that died in the car, frozen. Her name was, I don't want to give her name, God rest her soul. We grew up with her, but she got to live years later. And she would walk around the track and suck your dick for $10, $15, $20.
It's so different now. I went to the track with you and your family, and they have like kids.
Oh yeah,
games
this
now.
up here, Arcadia. Oh no,
The
that's
Santa Anita's nice too.
that's very nice.
But even the Meadowlands, everything. Lee, honestly, everything's changed. And
Yeah.
How was the Meadowlands? When was the last time you were at the
fuck,
Meadowlands?
I don't even know, man.
No,
Maybe
it's been-
2000s, I think. Early
It's
2000s,
gotta
I was
be
like,
30 years for me. I can't lie to anybody. I haven't been to the Meadowlands race.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's even long. Maybe 90.
No. I'm telling you, 93. 93
was the last time you were there?
I went like 10. I was there constantly because I had moved back to do comedy.
Well, my mother, my stepfather used to go in the 80s, you know, but it's just so different how, like, when they were in their 30s and, like, to what, like, I'm dressed in a polo. They would always wear the suits, all the guys, you know. To them, it was like the night out. To go to the Pegasus
I
was
couldn't
like
believe how, when I was a kid, how men would dress to hang out with other men.
suits.
Like, they would get jazzed up, matching socks.
Have you seen the old pictures of like people at
Shoes would be
baseball games?
shined.
Like they would
Oh,
go to they'd go to Fenway Park in a suit.
You wouldn't be caught dead. You know what was funny, too? Like, if you called them a pimp or a gangster or something, they would get upset with that. Like, now it's a compliment. Even if they were a pimp, you called them that. I'm just saying, like, nobody liked that. That generation didn't like that. They always try to appear to have more money. I remember a friend of mine came out to this was years ago in Silver Lake, but you know, he was a real mechanic. But people that are blue collar try to dress like they have money, and people that have money try to dress like they're fucking blue collar. Does that make sense? Guy's in a mechanic shirt, and the kid's worth probably fucking 7 figures.
Well, that's the...
And my buddy's, you know, was a real mechanic and is trying to dress like he had money.
But that was always the
Which he
mentality.
did.
See, that was always the mentality I was raised under.
Yeah, you don't want to.
I was raised around people that... No, I was raised around people that had money. But if you saw them, you'd go, no.
It's still-
They played the real guys. The real guys didn't need you to know that they had money.
Well, but I was more. I'm talking more about like the fake blue collar shit that you see. You know
Here.
what I mean? Yeah.
Well, here's a different... Listen,
Yeah.
whatever you see here in this city, in this town, you said it best. You said something I've never heard before. You said that
There's
this
people
is a
with
town
personality,
with personality.
and there's people with character.
Character. This is a town of people.
Personalities,
Character is nothing. You know, character is what you do when nobody's watching. I'm a firm believer in that. Character is what you
Absolutely.
do when nobody's watching. You know, I heard a statement 15 years ago that changed my life. It changed my life for cocaine. It changed my life from being the fucking thief that I was. And it was, don't let your character ruin your destiny. That is the most beautiful words you'll ever hear in your life if you take them the right way. Don't let your character ruin your destiny. When I heard those words, like in 2001, that changed me forever. Because I had so many fucking things that I wanted to do and I could not do being the person that I was. There was no way. Did I tell you somebody mailed me a fucking a letter and there was a $20 bill and it's a counterfeit $20 bill and I put it on my desk. I don't know if I put it in my wallet or not. I don't know if I passed the $20 bill the last 2 days to somebody. Somebody right now, I can't find the fucking $20 bill. I don't know if my wife took it, if my daughter took it. Somebody passed the $20 bill. But that's
Did you know it was fake, or did they?
On the letter, it says it.
Oh,
It's
okay.
this is for you and Lee, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
It's a fake 20. I looked at it. It was beautiful.
Yeah. Remember with the baby powder? You ever
Yeah,
do
yeah.
that?
Oh, no, you have to fucking wrinkle
Wrinkle
them
them
up,
up.
and shake them up.
Oh, I was going to tell you how they fix the dogs.
Okay, yeah.
They salt lick them before the greyhounds.
What does that mean?
They get them thirsty, and then they have them drink a shit ton of water before they run.
So the one
Somebody
that
told me that. I
lose-
don't know if that. Yeah, the one that they want to weigh him down. So they would, like, if there's 7, 8, 9 dogs running, they'll salt lick like 8 of them, or like, you know. That's why. And I would go to the track sometimes, and we used to go to High Lie in Florida a lot, and go to the greyhounds. But you see a dog just stop and piss sometimes. Like, oh, now it makes sense.
I used to go to High Line, Connecticut. I never went to the one
That's
in Florida.
crazy.
used
Well, they
to-
just have the thing on the hand, right?
I
Like,
used to play hooky.
That's like a fucking pool ball, man.
But I used to buy Coke at the Highlight place in Miami. The guy would make me meet him there.
Dang you, High Lie.
Fucking 83, 84.
Were you down there?
I was down there a lot in 84, back and forth.
You have family down there? Because you're Cuban?
Yes, I
Yeah.
have family down there. I have a couple, but my mom wasn't a big Miami chick.
No.
No, she said that the Cubans in Miami were still crying about what had happened, that she didn't have time for that shit. That she was time to have a lay her steak. They were still worried about Cuba and all this shit. So that's why she went to Jersey. It was more her speed. It was a little faster and whatnot. But
Yeah, because that's the, I think, is it Union City?
Union
Has
City is the second biggest Cuban population.
second biggest, yeah.
I don't know what it is now. I don't know exactly who and
No, you
what.
guys are still there.
Are we? No, we're still there, but there's the blockage is a lot smaller.
Dude, we were driving around. Everything's closed, man. There's not even like my mom went to Holy Rosary Academy. All those places are gone.
Holy Rosary Academy is gone
It's gone.
in Union City.
Yeah.
St.
gone.
Michael's is not gone.
There's another Catholic school that's gone too.
St. Michael's Union City cannot be gone. That's what
You
Tommy
have to
Heinz
you have to
said.
check it.
Yeah.
The whole neighborhood's changed. Everything's changed. We did a little tour of Jersey City where my mom grew up and my grandparents were from there.
But going back to that was one of the, I have two friends. I have you and Mike Duffy that I love you to death. But because you say that shit, it takes me to a different place.
What do you mean?
Like, I talk to Mike once every 15 days. Me and Mike were roommates in Colorado back in 83. Mike Duffy, I know Mike Duffy since he joined the Army and fucking went AWOL. You know, that's how long I go back with him. His father, his uncles, you know. And whenever I talk to him, he goes, you came out pretty good for a kid that didn't have any supervision. And every time he says it to me, my fucking hairs on my neck stand up. But he's not lying.
No.
He's not lying. He's telling you the truth. At 50, my mother was alive, even 14, 15. I still remember coming home. The last smack in the face she gave me was a week before she died. Because I walked in the door like at 5 in the morning. I stopped calling at 2. And I walked in at 5 and she was right there. And she hit me and she goes, that's not going to fly. We have a deal. From now on, you have to call every hour on the hour. And I go, the last time I called, I felt like I was waking you up. She goes, don't wake me up. Wake me up. I don't give a fuck. Wake me up. That's our deal. And she was like, all I want, the reason why I do this with you, and I don't do it the other way, is because I want you to understand that this is what a man does. A man tells his wife what time he's going to be back home at night. A wife doesn't give a fuck if you go out. Just tell her what time you're going to be home and stick to that commitment. Mm-hmm. And you and your wife will be fine. And she like broke it down for me. Like she smacked me at 6 in the morning. And then at 9, she came in there to talk to me. And this was the spiel she was telling me. She goes, this is what a man does. She goes,
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck if you grew up.
I needed to stick to that spiel, that rule.
She goes, I wish that, she goes, I hope that even if you shovel shit for a living, I just want you to be the best guy on that fucking job.
Be the best shit shoveler.
Be the best shit shoveler. She said it in Spanish, you know. But she said it to me. She goes, what I'm telling you is going to stay with you for the rest of your life as a man. To be a man, you have to tell people what time you're going to be there. And I'll never forget, 10 days later, as I'm calling the ambulance, she's on the floor, fucking dead. I'm sitting there thinking, she was saying goodbye to me. She was reading me the riot act of 1968. That was the riot act. That's the riot act that your parents take.
How old was your father when he passed?
37.
I mean, how old were you? I'm sorry.
3.
You were 3.
So I was damaged goods once he died.
Well, dude.
I was just trying to put the pieces together. And once my mother died, I was damaged goods. But that broke down the central nervous system, belief system.
Yeah.
The little Catholic system I had, belief in my head, that broke it down because what God takes away a mother.
Yeah.
Once you take that belief away from somebody, anything is possible.
Well, you did. I mean, dude, we've talked about this before, dude, but, you know, and just in private conversations, you know, I mean, look, everybody, you got to twist yourself up every now and then, but at the same time, you know, you did, man. You came out fucking great because you're a good dude. And I try to explain to people that sometimes, you know, I know it sounds crazy, Lee, but sometimes you don't know right. You think you don't really, like, I didn't think stealing was wrong for a long time.
No, it was part of our society.
If I robbed you, I'm a piece of shit. But if I rob like Nordstrom, who fucking cares?
Who gives a fuck?
Right?
Yeah.
You have this weird value system that you create. But as a kid, I mean, but it's with a young mind, especially if you don't have a father. Like for me, I found that like you create what you think a man is at a young age, right? And then, and it's stupid shit. A man should be able to fight, fuck a lot of women, be good in sports, and you create this image of what you think it is. And then at about 25, 26, you start to realize that's not what a man is. And then you spend like the next 15 years trying to break all these fucking bad habits you created for yourself. You know, and like I was always taught to swing first. Now, it's a practical thing for us. If a guy's mouthing off to you, just fucking hit him. Don't hesitate. Just swing.
If you thought about it, you fucked up. That was my mother's rule.
Just hit.
Si lo pensaste, ya te cagaste.
You go, you commit. That's it. You hit him. Or whatever you got on you, you hit him with it. And now that's not a practical way to, as an adult, you know, but you learn that from other people that, you know, and that just sticks with you. So it's always swing first. Fuck it. Just, if we're in, we're in. If I'm going to get jumped, take one with you. You know what I mean? But trust me, I'm not trying to be a tough guy. I chalked up many an L. It's like I said in my special. I don't know how many fights I've been in, but I've got about 19 strong losses. Fucking epic. You know?
Punches to the head.
But I'm saying there's other ways to handle situations that you just think that's the only way to do it. If a guy's running his mouth about you, then you need to confront that because for some unknown reason, your reputation, you know, and then you just think this way, even though, like, I'll be honest with you. Every time I went out with my friends, I was nervous. I used to play cool, but I always had like those butterflies in my stomach because I knew that, you know, if you're with some kids, you know, some shit eventually is going to happen. But you went out anyways when, you know, because these are your friends and this is what you do. You know what I mean? But you don't make those types of decisions as a young mind. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So you get caught up in shit, but you're still a kid. Like I always say, if I was talking to myself at this age, you know, or if I fucked up or did something and I said to myself at 17, you know, what are you doing? You know, I wouldn't. You view yourself as a kid with the mind you have now, but that mind's not fully developed, especially if you got all that shit going on.
I found an old email.
I just turned into Dr. Phil.
No. This is what the church is about, brother.
Lee, are you nodding off? No. I'm just listening.
The church is about this. The church is about letting people, because people don't know. They don't. I found an old email last week. A troublesome email of a dear friend at one time, and life took over, you know, and life, when you love somebody, you never stop loving them. There's certain people in your life.
Yeah.
I never stopped loving this guy, but the bridge that was created between us was just a heavy bridge. And if I try to talk to him, I'm going to have a nervous breakdown at this age. So we keep it very light. But he did send me a troublesome email about 2 years ago that he heard somebody told him on a podcast that he heard something that I had robbed, that he was conclusive now, that he didn't believe it at first, but I had come clean about it on the podcast, and that somebody had called him and reminded him of something, and and I wrote him a thing. I found this like a couple nights ago, but I wrote to him back like this 2 fucking hour, explained to him, my age at that age, or who the person I was, and how I could. It was great. I read it 2 days later. He's never gotten back to me yet. He still hasn't gotten back to me. I thought he would read it, but this is how back the pain goes between us, because it's 40 fucking years.
Oh, and that
40 fucking years.
But now here's the other thing, buddy, is that, and the anger is what I realized. I walked around with a lot of anger for me.
We all do.
But it's a little different when some unnatural shit happens to you that normal people don't go through. And the thing I found as I've gotten older is you tend to act out. You project it in other ways. Like, even if I'm doing something stupid, it still stems from the fact that I'm hurt. Because that's where all of it comes from. Even these people that argue politically, they're all hurt people. Something hurt them. That's why they're this way. Even when I'm fucking screaming at the top of my lungs in my 20s at the Comedy Store, even with my friends sometimes, you develop patterns through like a wounded stage, if that makes any sense. Does that make sense?
Yes, no.
So when you act out on shit, you there's so much going through you. Now, with that being said, it's not the other person's responsibility that you may have wronged to understand that. You know what I mean? Because now you're a cause of something to them, if that makes any sense.
Oh, Doug, one of the reasons, this is how high, even at that age, I adored him, but I had to stop being his friend because I wasn't doing him any favors.
Right.
Like at that age, at the age of 20.
Now, you're not even into adult puberty yet.
It was a very painful thing for me to be around him because I had done him wrong.
Well, there's this.
I knew I did him wrong. He knew I did him wrong.
He did know, but he didn't have it known, and then you came clean that you did do it?
No. I knew even at that age I had done him wrong. He had done a big favor for me. Last week was I was starting to tell Rogan on his podcast that last Saturday was the second family I lived with, the mother's 80th birthday party. And they had a big thing in Philly, and I couldn't go because I had something Monday morning. I would have had to take a 6 a.m. flight. Somebody would have had to pick me up in Philly.
Now, I want to interrupt you for 1 second.
Go ahead.
You know that's not a normal statement.
What's that?
The second family you live with.
Can you believe that shit?
Right.
Can you believe that?
But I'm saying, like, as a normal person, when people say that, it's just part of who you are. It's a natural. It's
Right.
part of. It's
Right.
part of who you
My
are.
mother died. I moved in with the Benders. I
Right.
stayed with them.
But I'm saying that second, the fact that you have to preface the second family that I live with.
16 months I lived with the Benders.
Yeah.
Then the week that Reagan got shot, they asked me to leave. I mean, I was out of control, and I'm
Really?
not mad at them. And like 3 months before, I was got asked to leave. I was hanging out with this kid. We would bump in. He was nuts. I loved him. He was another nut. Drugs, coke, whatever. We would rob shit. And he came to me like I was telling him, I go, the Benders are going to throw me out any day now. It's just a matter of time. They're going to throw me out.
Now, let me ask you this question: when you were doing all that shit, you knew they were going to throw you out, but you kept doing it. Was it kind of like a self-destructive thing, or you just didn't care, or you just were still acting out? You follow what I'm saying? Like if they said to you, "Look, Joey, we're taking you in. You got to act a certain way. You got to help us help you," and you were just like, "Fuck it." You were still. Was there like do you remember the rationale behind it, or were you just?
The rationale behind it was that my mother had just died.
Right.
And in my mind, the back of my head, I couldn't wait to pull an Anthony Bourdain.
That's what
I was just waiting for an Anthony Bourdain situation to come up, whether I was going to pull a gun on somebody and they were going to shoot me, whether I was going to do too many drugs.
Right.
I was at that point of when I was living with them.
So it was suicide by circumstance almost.
When
right?
I was living with them.
You ever hear that, by the way?
Yeah,
you hear when people do suicide by cop?
Absolutely.
It was suicide. Like, I'm going to do something. I'm going to go so fucking hard that I'm going to do this. I don't want to do it officially, but I'm going to do this.
I live by energies. You know, I believe in the mushes of life. I believe in. I just spoke to somebody and they said that they were at the tail end of some stuff, but they understood what was going on, and you have to understand that at that time I was pure misery. I had brought the misery that was in my house to their house. I could feel the energy I had brought. The same misery that I had at my home before my mother died was now at their home. I could feel what I did. I was causing
You're
problems.
toxic.
I was toxic. And to top it off, I'm doing drugs. I'm going to high school. I'm getting B's. I got a day job. I mean, you can't believe all this shit. It's not like I'm mugging old people.
Yeah, I got you, man.
Beating up 90-year-olds. No. I would go to school from 7:30 to 1, and then I would take the bus and work from 1:30 to 5 at a lumber yard. And then I would go to the Benders. I would eat dinner with them like a family. We'd talk. And at 7 o'clock, I'd meet my buddies. We'd get a gram of fucking blow, a couple hits of acid.
No, I want to ask you another question.
A case
here.
of fucking nips.
So going back to that though, like, and again, I don't want to make this about me. I can only relate to what you're saying through
I
me.
want you to do this.
So,
this is what we do here.
Like,
bro.
so what happened with, like, as a young kid, and I'm asking you this in a question, did you create a persona? Did you create something that you made you, that you have just, it's morphed into who you are? Because there's a big difference. I remember having a very dear friend of mine who was always into something. There was like a 5-6 year period where, you know, he got into some heavy shit. And then afterwards we were talking and he's evolved and he's grown and
I'm in that 5 to 6 year period right now.
his eyes is, I love this kid. So, and I said to him, he's like, I can't believe I was that way. And I'm like, no, who you are now is who you always were. You created that. That was not you, but it's become a part of you. Now for me, I was embarrassed. I was never embarrassed, but I always tried to play tougher than I was, even though I was a scrappy kid. You know what I mean? Not that I was embarrassed that I was smart, but I just always tried to downplay things. And not that I'm the smartest guy. No, I'm just saying I hid my intelligence.
Right.
But some of the guys that was around, it wasn't hard to not be smarter than some of them, you know? And my interest in writing and my interest in performing. But I held on to that persona because it was almost like a safety thing. Does that make any sense? So then you start wilding out because that becomes this guy. I'm not trying to break it down. I'm just curious. Do you understand? Did you create? Was this always you, or did those events create somebody? And I know that
those events created somebody.
They created somebody.
I was a very decent kid. I was very Catholic.
Okay.
I went to confession every week. I would steal quarters from my mother's bar, and it would drive me fucking crazy. Like the roll of quarters, like I would take like 4 quarters from that. And I would confess, and it would drive me fucking crazy.
But let's just say after...
I was by the book.
Okay, so after this event, you were already wilding out a little bit.
No, I was by the book.
Until
So
after your mom died.
No.
That's what I'm asking.
I was by the book till I was about 13.
Okay.
And then I always grew up around drugs.
Right.
Drugs were around me.
Yeah,
since
it was
day
around
one.
me too.
Coke.
All that shit.
Pills. I was
Subtly,
always
though.
around. Very suddenly. It wasn't for me. Wasn't for me. Alcohol wasn't for me because my mother had a bar.
Uh-huh.
So none of that shit was for me. And then one day I just said, let me try this weed. I liked how it smelled. And it was like a secret. It was like a big secret. I had my weed friends and I had my geek friends. My geek friends would call me, hey, you want to geek out and go to Honda and look at karate uniforms today? No, I'm going to go to Bret's and build a model. We're going to Bret's to get high and listen to Led Zeppelin because Bret's father's going to Atlantic City on the bus. Remember that bus, 15 to get on? And then they give you 15 in quarters when you get there, but your dad has to stay there all day. So that means we got the house till 6 and he can't come home early. If he loses all his money, you say, I got to stay there till the 6 o'clock bus. So, I was that kid. But I was always working out, blah, 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 blah.
Well, I was just asking because then there's the guy that I go back to too, which I talk about in my act in the principal's office, which I'm past that, but sometimes I find myself going back to the guy I was in my 20s and 30s because I find the humor in that, how fucking stupid I was sometimes or dumb shit I did as a kid, But then I ask myself, did I create that guy? Not that I'm pretending to be that guy, because I
Once
was
I
that guy.
became that guy, though, Brett.
Then you owned it.
Once I became that guy.
Yeah.
At 18. By 18, those 2 years without my mother told me one thing, that I was not a tough guy. By no means was I a tough guy. I was crazy. If we had a scrap and a gun fell from your waist and I picked it up, I'll blow your fucking head off.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was ready to die because I missed my mother. The pain,
That's what it is.
The pain and the hole
Of course.
is too much. By the time 18 came, fuck the world.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck the world, bro. I hung out with dudes that, you know what, Brett? That picture's yours. It's a nice picture. But guess what, Brett? It's fucking mine now.
I had a friend that would do that. He'd walk in and be like,
And
"This
guess
is
what?
mine."
And you're not gonna do
what are you
nothing
gonna do
about
about
it.
it? What the fuck? You
And I
gonna do?
wasn't that person.
Right.
But if you gave me resistance, I became that person. And behind me, you had three motherfuckers that
Right.
you had to deal with if you said something to me.
Well, the question I was asking.
That scares me. That Joey
So then-
Diaz scares me.
Okay.
And that's always there.
But that Joey Diaz, see, the guy that I talked about in my special, I created at 6 or 7. If that makes any sense.
No, at 6 or 7.
At 10.
I believed in nuns. I believed in God. I believed in Santeria.
Right.
I believed in society.
Because
I was an
your
immigrant.
first, even though
was
your
an
father
immigrant.
died at 3,
I believed in the flag.
Right.
I believed in the United States of America.
you still do.
I believed my mother was raising me to bailar de ejército.
Mm-hmm.
Cuban moms raised their sons at that time bailar de ejército. You know what the ejército is? The service. That's how much she loved this country, even though she sold coke and numbers and fucking
Yeah.
did heroin and all that shit. She believed in this country, and so did I. Okay, but then let me tell you what happens. So now my mother dies. I go to get Social Security. I can't get it because my father's
Shit.
death certificate was never signed.
Really?
It was like 1,000 things. So that love I had for the country, I found out it was all bureaucracy.
Uh-huh.
That's a child. That's a 16-year-old child. Who gives a fuck with the paperwork ain't here?
Yeah.
Give him his fucking money.
Yeah.
So there's a piece of paper. He needs money. What is he going to do? If he doesn't have this money, he's going to do something. Now, again, do you want me to look you in the eye and tell you I had to do something to get money? No, I don't. I could have got a job. I could have got 1,000 jobs. I opted to rob drug dealers.
But that's
I opted to
but again,
become
that's-
that person.
but that's
That you're
because-
saying. Yeah, no, I was a creature of I was a victim of my environment.
Yeah.
Am I saying I was a victim? No.
no, I get
no,
I get
no,
exactly
no,
what
no.
you're saying.
And then,
And then I got harder and harder and harder.
See, now in my professional opinion, I would say that if the drugs weren't involved, you could have had a clearer head. And
Please.
yeah,
But if the pain wasn't involved,
then the drugs wouldn't.
I
have been.
wouldn't have had a clearer head.
What-
Because that pain, after you said that night on stage, and when Mike last Saturday, when I called Mike to tell his mother happy birthday, and I thought to myself, you know, when I watched The Godfather, the best scene of The Godfather for me, bro, since the day I watched it in the movies, because I saw The Godfather in a movie theater, at the cinema theater, all right? And then I bought the book. You could get the book, and I bought the book. And they had the picture of the car blown up in the book and all that shit, you know, at the Sicily. But the thing that stuck out the
Monday,
most to me-
Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah, Monday, Thursday, Wednesday. The thing that stuck out the most to me about The Godfather was that, you know, if he's your brother, how come you have a different name? And he goes, my brother Sonny found him one day and brought him home. And you're sitting there going, what the fuck is he talking about? I'll never forget that, going home. And like 5 days after that movie, I saw it, like having dinner with my mom and some of her friends. I go, Mom, can I talk to you about something? What if I went out one day and I met a kid that didn't have a mom and dad? Can I bring him home? And she goes, yeah. So, dog, I was in a search looking for a homeless kid because I wanted a brother. My mother couldn't have any other kids. I was already 12 or 10 or 11. Mm-hmm. So for like 2 years, I would ask like kids, you happy at your house? I got air conditioning. I got HBO.
you're trying to steal them away.
It was hysterical. I was like a college recruiter, dog. You happy with your mother? You let her talk to you that way? At my house, we got no curfew. You understand me?
You all you gotta do is call anything out.
And fried bananas and Malta. You can live like this all the time. Kids will come over.
Strong coffee.
Oh my God, my mom had the bar. So the first 4 tiers of my refrigerator were fucking sodas. And I'm not talking about bar soda. I'm talking about Coke, 7-Up.
Remember that Czech cola shit? We used to put that in a hot dog truck. The
my God.
Czech soda.
They used to have at the bar. My mom used to have real soda, but she goes, "There's some people who don't give a fuck." So she would get the cases of bottles, 32-ounce bottles, and they would be like Liven Up with 7-Up, cola. Yeah, they were all, and they were delicious. They were great.
But Czech was from Food Town. Was Czech soda was the generic brand.
When I was a kid, I used to get orange soda, and I'd get vanilla wafers.
Oh my God!
And dip them in the orange soda.
But when you were looking for that kid, you didn't realize one day you were gonna be that kid.
Can you fucking believe that?
Right.
So for 2 years, I almost had Michael Olsen move in. Michael Olsen
had him convinced.
Dog, he had been smoking cigarettes since he was 7. Listen to me.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know why. I don't ask questions. I just know he needed help because he had never gone to the dentist. So when his teeth came out when he was 6, he started smoking right over him. And his cavities were so bad. He's on Facebook now grinning like fucking Liberace.
Fresh teeth.
Yeah, he got those fresh teeth.
Caps.
And bro, his cavities were so bad that he could put a cigarette in his front tooth, and the tooth was here, Doug. The cavity was up here, and he could put the cigarette in the hole. That's how bad his teeth were. His breath from 6 feet away smelled like a dead fucking body.
Must have stunk.
And I used to look at him and go, you know what? This kid just needs a house. This kid just needs a little supervision.
Dude, you know what?
Why do you gotta pick the hardest one?
Because all he needed was a toothbrush.
But they gotta sleep next to this fucking kid. He's breathing on you.
I had an attic. I was gonna put him in the attic. I had an attic that was finished. I had an air conditioner.
Fuck up there.
Oh yeah, I'd send them up to the attic like Boris.
Did you take any of them on tours? Like, here's the house.
I would bring them over and they'd eat. And I'd say,
Hit
bro,
the ceiling. Shut the fuck up there.
I had a great living room.
That's my brother. He's up in the attic. He's got the worst teeth you've ever seen.
I had a great living room. I had everything. I had a perfect house for a kid. I had my own bedroom. I had a garage.
Yeah.
I had another bedroom down there if they wanted to move in down there. I had like 9 bedrooms in that fucking house and given that terrace. And it's weird. I became that kid.
Mm-hmm.
And then Italians opened their door to me.
Yeah.
But I still say to myself, can you imagine how so I got thrown out.
Well, let me ask you this question, though.
Yeah.
Imagine you see a kid now going through what you're going through as a 55-year-old man and not even having to go through that. So that there's no relation. There's nowhere you can empathize. You just see a kid fucking 14 years old or 15, no parents, bouncing around from couch to couch or whatever, right? Now imagine now imagine looking at that kid and seeing the anger and seeing the sadness and all that shit. If you've already come to terms with shit you've done in the past, then that's even better. But if you haven't, I'm not saying you have or haven't, now that's that kid that did all that. And as a 55-year-old man, if you're sitting there with a 14-year-old kid and you found out, or even 18, and you found out all this shit that he did, and you're going to look at him, you're not going to be like, this is a rotten kid. You're going to be like,
Let me talk to him.
Let me talk to him. Let me help this person.
Let me talk to him.
So when you have that, and the only reason why I'm saying that, when you have that inner dialogue
First of all,
with
I see
yourself,
that anger.
Yeah.
First of all, you can't beat that anger. The anger has to wear off on its own.
Mm-hmm.
The anger cannot be
That's why low
released.
testosterone is the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, no, but
Orny Adams has a great bit about that.
but an 18-year-old angry kid,
yeah, he can't.
that's the most dangerous person
You can talk to him.
on the world.
He thinks that he doesn't he can't see past his nose.
Take a mother from him, a father.
Yeah, of course.
The father stops calling. All those little situations destroys an 18-year-old boy or a female. Destroys.
Absolutely.
And the anger. So when I talk to a child, I have to rate the anger. Love will always beat anger.
Uh-huh.
I will fucking tell you that from. I know it. Love is like a. If you want me to tell you a joke, it's like a finger in the ass. Love is like that. If I wanted to look at your heart and I had to put a tube through your ass with a camera, and it took an hour and an inch.
A colonoscopy.
Yeah, it's like a colonoscopy. Love takes a long time to overcome anger, but it overcomes.
Well,
anger.
the other thing is that when you're talking to a young kid, and this is some of the stuff when I was young, when I was in my late 20s, that I was working with kids a lot, is that was very therapeutic for me. Even the stuff, or is it cathartic? Anyways, even the stuff that me and Steve and we do at the Children's Hospital and stuff, it helps. I don't know, man. I realized one day, and this was just a revelation I had. Whenever I was getting angry with myself or I was depressed, and trust me, there's a lot of that shit that that I was going through.
This career that we go through.
There's so many
fucking
factors
eats
to it.
away at you a lot.
It could kill you. Yeah,
and then we add some shit to it that angers us. So it's a lot. It's
But what I was gonna say is, whenever I was feeling a certain way, I'd go out and twist myself up. I'd be like, I'm fucking angry. I'm gonna go get drunk. I'm gonna go do something stupid. Then it dawned on me, why is that my fucking reaction? Why don't I go the other way? Right? When I'm feeling depressed or angry, I just go out and say, fuck it, I'm gonna go buy 2 large pizzas and go down the promenade and hand out slices to homeless people. Right? I don't want to sound like a fucking saint. It was just a reversal of thought. Why was every time I was feeling a certain way, my behavior would be just destructive to me? I would never hurt another soul. It was just destructive to me. Whereas on the flip side, if I said to myself, well, then let me take that anger and do something good with it. And then it was through a lot of that stuff I started calming down.
How do you get to let the people that are listening to this, because how old were you when you got this clarity piece?
30s.
Okay, let me tell you what I had.
Yeah.
I have a 27-year-old daughter that doesn't talk to me. We don't talk. I've come to peace with it. I've come to terms with it. But at that time, when I was 32, this is 95, 94, I was 31 and 32. This was eating alive at me.
Of course.
So I would get her on Wednesdays and Sundays. And the mother would, she could have been cool, but she would just throw salt in the wound. She knew I was fighting for my life, and she would pull up with the boyfriend in the Range Rover. And, they were going to dinner at Spargo's. I don't know. I'm just making a name.
Yeah, I got you.
And I remember walking that kid to that car and kissing her, and the kid would hug me and tell me she loved me, and I'd look at the both of them because they were trying to cut my legs off. They were trying to take this kid from me. And every time I'd bend over and kiss this kid and straighten up and look at the both of them, you and I both know I wanted just to go in the trunk, pull out the fucking gun, and shoot them both on the spot. But I would force myself to go in the car. I would cry like a man. 32-year-old man, crying.
Nothing wrong with that.
I mean, bawling, tears coming out of my eyes. I would open up the ashtray. There was a joint rolled. I'd get myself together. I'd wipe my eyes. I'd fucking smoke the joint. And I'd get in the car and I'd force myself to do comedy at a country western bar every Wednesday. You have no idea what that was like, guys. You have no idea what that was like. To force yourself from that yin to that yang.
Did you ever do well when you were that sad?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. That's when I thought.
Well, the night my brother died, I went up.
No way.
I didn't even talk about it. I just went up. And I just said, all right, I got to do it. But it was, I don't even remember the set. I don't even care. But you work through it. This is one thing I tell people: you never get over it. You just get through it.
You
work
never
through
get
it.
over
You never
it.
get over it. It's always in the back of your head. But the one blessing I had was, and it's not really a blessing. I associated marijuana. I know it's stupid now, because my dad smoked a lot. I thought it was the reason why he killed himself. So I never smoked it because I thought I'd go crazy. And I always associated drugs with craziness.
No, that's a good way to get yourself off it.
Yeah, but I meant now that I'm older, I see that weed is nothing. But as a young kid, and plus I grew up with some, the Italian, a lot of the Italian guys, there was a no-no. I remember,
Oh, they call you retarded.
Well, no, they say to you, if you're in jail, if you rob a bank, even if you murder somebody, I'll come get you. If I find out you're dealing or using drugs, you're gonna fucking rot. It was a big thing. So another reason why I never had tattoos.
Me neither. I'm not a tattoo.
No.
Where's Tony Bennett, cocksucker? Don't just sit there.
But these are the conversations we have in the back.
Yeah, anybody could come on here and be funny, and we could be cute, and we could be high and giggle. I have those podcasts. Tonight I wanted to talk about that joke.
I got to say something too, which I love, is that people know, and this is why I love the internet, is because the internet is allowing, the people that are blowing up through the internet are the right people. And a lot of people don't know, like with you or even Tripoli. I mean, I did one of his podcasts. We were arguing, but we're brothers.
We're brothers.
We're 21 years together.
This is
Right.
It's like being in the army.
Right.
Only a different shotgun.
And we've always been there for each other, even worse, bad, talking. We could be like I was talking about when you're talking about be home when you're supposed to. I would be at the Comedy Store. Set ended at midnight, and next thing I know, it's 3:30. We're in the fucking parking lot.
Talking about samurai. Yeah. Let me do some shout outs.
Yeah, go ahead. Let me grab a water.
First and foremost, Bob Lalengus, I'll give you a call this week. Thank you for the box. My daughter fucking loves the kitty. Lee said you sent them a yardstick.
I really appreciate
Bruce
it.
Lee book. I love you, Bob. I love you. Your dad. You are a true church family, like in Scott Cunningham and the rest of you. Sergio Ortega, I got fucking the album. Thank you. Ian Jones, Chris Dingler, Ookie Spooky, I miss you, bitch. Carmen Colosimo, Mateo Oliveris, Nikki Santos, Colin O'Sullivan, my girl Deborah Hubster. I love you, motherfuckers, with all my heart. Listen, as you know, the South Point is sold out this weekend. And guess what? Wise Guys in 2 weeks is sold out. Let me talk to him and see if we're gonna add a Thursday night, maybe a little fucking Mormon show. You could show up with your third wife. You know what I'm saying? Do something. No, dog. We're a family. We vouch for one another. You know, when I did not know you were in Cobra Kai.
Oh yeah.
I did not know, and I was so happy because finally the good guys won.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
oh, thank you.
people have no idea that we know. Like when Willie Barcena came on here, he still remembers going to pick up Chris Tucker when he lived in the studio on a towel.
Yeah.
You know, when he lived in a
It's a
towel.
kinship we have.
And it's a kinship for some people. For some of us, some comics come up here, bro, and they get a jealousy bug and they get an anger bug and they get popular and they want what they got not to be taken away. In my world, brother, we spread the love.
Yeah, and if you're doing it right, you're only competing against yourself. Like, I don't know why people think that there's a limited number of chairs at the table. The table's fucking infinite.
It's infinite.
And whatever you bring, you bring. And if you're doing it right, it takes long. If you're doing it right. You know, one of the worst things that can happen to you is if you pop too early, I think.
That's so hard to hear because I just started. Like, that's like, and I know it's probably, and I know it's definitely true, but when, I don't know, there's been such a dream sold, especially, like, I never thought I'd try to be like an actual, like, entertainer. I thought I was always going to be behind the camera.
What do you mean as a dream sold?
Like, being a movie star, being Justin Bieber and being discovered at 13 and being a Millie. Like,
But I'm saying, is that your perception, or does somebody tell you that's how it happes?
I mean, yeah, it's probably my perception. I mean, I never taken one acting class. Never thought I'd do anything like this. But like, you kind of want it, and it's not.
You had a good set, by the way.
Thank you.
When we were at the dojo.
I appreciate it. I've been working on it, but I'm also like, I wouldn't want, like, I keep thinking about Charlie Murphy and how he had to headline when he had like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And like,
Or don't headline.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
don't put
not
yourself
going to
in a bad
headline, but
position.
it's just
That's
like,
it.
I can't be imagined being put in that position.
You're not. Don't worry about it.
That's true. I should stop worrying about stuff.
Don't worry about nothing.
But it just, I don't
Don't worry about it.
This guy will fucking...
do your job.
Before he said something to me before about something, and I looked at him, I go, what are you worrying with? I go, this is why. You need to smoke more dope and stop thinking. And
Do you
stop
have
worrying.
anxiety?
Oh, yeah.
Then you live in the future.
Yep.
I have depression. I live in the past.
I have both.
I live in both.
Yeah.
I get depressed when I think about my past. I don't get depressed. I miss parts of it.
Yeah.
I missed
You yearn?
the kinship. I missed the camaraderie. I missed a different type of laughter.
You missed the Puerto Ricans doing the barbecue? Dude, you had me fucking dying.
Listen, and like Rene Encarnacion, he's my brother. He's a Puerto Rican dude. But he knows, in the 70s, 60s, and 80s in New York, if you lived in shitty neighborhoods in New York City, you know, and you was Puerto Rican, Dominican, black, white, you know, if you were Irish and you got 13 brothers and sisters and you live in a 2-bedroom, you ain't living too good. So the big thing would be to go to the Hudson River to cool off when I was a kid. So when I was like 13, on the weekends, you'd see a rise like in blacks, Puerto Ricans. But it was hysterical because they'd pull up like they were going like the fucking, you know, it's weird. It was an education. Listen, my mother had money when I was growing up, and I didn't like it. We lived on 205 West 88th Street. But I hung out at my godmother's at 145th and Broadway. And those motherfuckers slept 18 to a room. They had roaches. They shared one sandwich between 8 kids. But they taught me how to shake down the owners. They were young. They taught me how to sweep and take garbage out. When I was around them, I wouldn't tell them that I had a TV and HBO and that I had my own fucking air conditioner in my room. I wouldn't even talk about that stuff. I'd wear the sneakers they wore and the whole thing just to experience what they were going through. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't even know what the purpose of this thing is, but I still remember those kids saying to me, like, what are you doing this weekend? My Uncle Vinny's going to borrow a car from Charlie, and we're going to go over to Jersey to the Hudson River and swim. It's a big day. And I remember going, wait a second, I've been to the Hudson River. It ain't no big fucking day. There's lounge lizards. And I'll never forget going down there.
They were fishing, holding up the fish.
One time I went down there with a kid named Mike Ascalese and this other kid, and we went fishing. Oh, the Lopez brothers. The Lopez brothers had a mom who was dying from cancer, and she would get strong pills. F66s. They don't even make them no more. They were like stronger than Oxycontins. And she would get like 60 of them a month. And the mother's like, I want to die anyway, sell them. So they would sell those pills for like $20 and you would get fucked up. I forget what they were called. But the brothers were crazy. These two brothers. And we went down there one day, the Hudson River, and we went fishing. I didn't know. I don't know nothing. They gave me a pole and I just fished. I was just happy they invited me. We're drinking some beers, we're smoking pot. One of them caught an eel.
What?
One of the white dudes caught an eel. And dog, he thought he caught like a lobster.
Oh, fucking, if he was Italian, that's going in the tub.
Dog, he thought it was a lobster.
Cut it up for Christmas Eve. He thought it was a lobster?
Oh, yeah, he cut it up and put it on the grill like nothing. He's eating this Hudson grill.
Oh, there's no way you're supposed to eat eel from the
dog.
Hudson
He ate the fucking heart right in front of us. He's like, I eat these things all the time. He's over there burping by himself and shit. But while we're... Dog, he would eat those eels, everything. Whatever he would catch. I mean, he was catching fishes with one eye. You know what was in the Hudson in 1979? Do you have any idea
fucking body
what's in that thing, in that fucking Hudson River?
I tell people this all the time. The New York in the 70s, America,
filthy.
It was 1,000 times worse than it is now.
Filthy. New York City was filthy.
Which also is why I'm always defending millennials. I mean, granted, they're a little soft, but at the same time, I mean, dude, my generation hasn't done shit. I mean, the baby boomers is like, come on, what are you on your third fucking marriage? You know, thanks for cocaine and AIDS.
What's a baby boomer?
That's like, no.
Like 10 years, 20 years older.
You're a tweener. You're between me and my parents' generation. So you're a tweener because you're not old enough to be my father or my.
I got a discount at Denny's. You better lighten up with that shit. I'm getting my discount at Denny's. I go to Denny's.
So you're like in between a baby boomer and Generation X, and then there's the in between X and Y. But like every generation after World War II.
I think that's what it was. Was World War II was baby boomers because they came home and.
But you had
babies.
Yeah, they had babies. How old would your mother be today? Because that'll tell you. Your mom might have been a baby boomer.
I think she's a little older than that.
Oh, fuck. My mom would have been 88, probably.
Oh, okay. So she's in between World War II and Korea generation. It's crazy, right?
1925.
Where the fuck does time go, Joe? We were saying when I met you, you were in your early 40s, right? Yeah, younger than that.
Bro, listen. When I was born, I was 31.
It's like fucking Lee.
Like I went from being 15 to being 19. It's so weird. Like there's no pictures of me, but I remember being like being 16, and all of a sudden my mother died, like aging 5 years.
Of course.
Because I remember going to my godmother's house. She going, "You didn't have this 2 years ago. What happened to you? You used to be such a nice looking little young boy." Like I went from being 16 to 30.
See, I remember there's a picture you posted when you were dancing, your little kid.
Yeah, little kid.
And that's that spirit. And the bad shit happens to you, but that thing it always comes out. My mom used to say that about me. She goes, you got in trouble, but you weren't a bad kid. Which, that's every mom would say that. But I was always, there's things that happen to you that kind of fuck you up a little. And you get sad all the time. I remember being sad. But then there was always that playful kid that would come out. But see, I moved 15 times, man. I went to 15 different fucking schools. So I was always trying to make friends. Like, I was always the new kid. It would always start the same. You're in front of the class. You see the kids. They try you out on the playground. You're going to have to throw hands maybe the first 2 weeks. Then everybody becomes your friend. And the next thing you know, we had to move again. So I was back and forth from Jersey to Florida. Even in West Virginia, we lived for a minute. you know? And it just, and then the other thing too is like, there's shit that I remember, I mean, it just comes up when you get older and you go, how the fuck, how is that normal? You know? Like,
You ever think of something from your childhood and you want to really think about it, but you know it's going to take you to a dark place, and you go, you know
well, my
what?
father, when he got arrested in front of me,
I'm not going to fucking even think
well,
about
I remember he went to the basement, and this is a thing I had, and he was hiding in the basement, and the cops came, and my godfather came, and then, you know, they're like, you know, don't put handcuffs on him, and I remember it, but I didn't remember it as a kid. I remember it when I'll tell you something where I started getting real fucking, I started writing a book. And writing this book was the worst fucking thing I could have done.
Horrible. I'm going through it right now.
I stopped.
For 2 weeks, I almost killed people. I almost killed people.
I stopped. And I go, you know what? Because there's no fucking happy ending yet. I don't ride off to the sunset. You know? And on top of that, I don't need to remember all this shit. And that's when I decided to stop looking in the fucking rear view, man.
I want to write the book for one purpose that really bothers me. That really bothers me. I was telling Lee today, the reason why I want to write this book, the reason why I haven't given up is because I really want people to know where I was mentally. Every once in a while I remember, and it scares the shit out of me.
Well, the church is that vehicle too, though, for you, right?
Well, I want people to know that you could be at one place mentally and end up in a different place.
Life
if
changes
you
on a
work
fucking dime.
On a dime.
And the other
But
thing,
you have to work on it.
Yes,
you have to work on it.
You can't sit around and
I worked on this.
You gotta work
I
through it.
worked on not being jealous. I worked on not letting my Cuban machismo get in the way.
Yeah.
I worked on working on, hey, don't disrespect. Who the fuck are you to call me that? You know, I had to work on those things. I really had to work on those things. You have to think about how many times, like we had this conversation one time, Lee and I. You have to go home one time and write down what it takes to be Bret Ernst every day. The patience, the level.
To have self-understanding, everybody has blind spots, and to really assess yourself honestly, and either take 50% accountability or 100% to where you're at. And with that being said, you know, you look at, when you assess yourself honestly, and the thing, like you need to know, like I needed help. I didn't know how to ask for help. I just didn't know how to do it. I thought it was weak.
You ever need help, but you don't want help?
I fucking, yeah, man.
That's the worst. When you need help and you don't want it.
Dude, it's horrible.
You know,
It's fucking horrible. I got myself in a fucking hole.
Horrible hole.
A bad hole. And I just never told anybody. And I just had to get out of it. And I tried to figure out a way, and it just got overwhelming that I had to pull somebody. I've only talked to 2 people my whole life. And I pulled them aside and I said, this is where I'm at. And he almost smacked me for not coming to him 10 years ago. You know? And 5 years ago. But the point is that when you assess that stuff, here's something somebody said to me that always stuck with me. A good friend of mine is Kid Daryl Lamontre. He was a comic for a while, but he's just brilliant. They're still shooting off fireworks. He said, destiny is persistent. And that always stuck with me. And then I came up with this right or wrong decisions. And I always say there's not right decisions. There's not right or wrong. There's right and long. So taking that thing that destiny is persistent, say if I'm supposed to be here and I make a left, it may take me off my course, but then destiny will correct itself, right? And it'll put you back where you're supposed to be. It may be a longer fucking route, but eventually, like, I'm supposed to be here, even if I did something fucked up. And then that's where I stopped putting so much emphasis on the decisions. You know, as long as my heart's in the right place and I'm trying to do the right thing, and if the decision doesn't go that way, then it doesn't go that way. But if it takes me off my course, eventually it'll fix itself, if that makes any sense.
The comedy journey,
It's long.
and I want you to tell Lee,
It's fucking long.
it's not even about the stage journey. It's about your own mental journey. I mean, I know you as a young man. You've grown up to be a man.
my 20s.
You've grown up to be a man. You're
Be a
responsible.
man.
You're responsible. You're in this game. You know, you figured it out. None of these fucking people can blow smoke up your ass now. you're on a course now that only you could get off of.
But you have what I have, okay? And what that is that there's people in this business that just take the business home with them, okay? We got to take everything and the fucking business. We got to sit there and start replaying shit that happened fucking 20 years ago that you can't fucking shake. You got to sit there and fucking, you have all these things that are going on, and then you got to deal with this. And you just, it just fucking, it's a lot, man. The business alone, people can't handle. See, I think 6 years, Lee, okay? Because, well, you're in a different situation, but I moved out here like you. I didn't fucking know anybody. Well, I moved out for my girl at the time. But I meant, I didn't know anybody in comedy or nothing. Get a job, I work. Now, those 6 years, the odds are against you when you first start. Because people quit, they go home. But once you get past a certain point, now you start playing the odds, right? Once you beat the odds and you're in it, now you're in it, you're committed, okay? Every year after that, the odds start coming in your favor because you start playing them. Whether it's 20 years, 21 years, I mean, dude, it doesn't matter, but, you know, there were times you called me fucking 5 years ago. Brett, I need this. Can you help me with this? Oh, absolutely. And then I'm going to call you now. You know what I mean? But now you hung in. You're done. You're there.
I can't believe I wake up.
You're fucking there. You beat the odds.
I still remember going, I'm never moving to LA. I was that guy that I was not going to move to LA. I'll stay in Seattle. I'll do headline.
But the scenes were different then. But you back then, the scenes were different. You could develop more, and it was more comedy driven. But you had to be here in New York in order to be somewhere. Right. Now it's just the opposite. Those scenes are kind of fucking played out, but you can be anywhere now, especially that you're established, because you put your time in. The internet is the greatest. This is the best time to be an artist, I think. That's why I gave my special away for free. I put it out there for free. You want to give me fucking Mickey Mouse dollars? Because I think we had a similar situation in the beginning. And I just said, fuck it.
Well, listen.
By the way, go to bretcomedy.com. You can watch it for free.
Let me tell you something. It's funny how, and
I don't need permission to exist.
Lee, you'll see this. And there are so many obstacles.
Oh, yeah.
There's obstacles there's personal obstacles, and there's obstacles you can't control. Then there's the obstacles of people that when you go to an open mic or you do a show, they'll purposely not follow you because they can't. They can't. They'll come up with excuses why they have to leave and they have to go up early. And these are the people that they're giving shows to and all the money to. People who don't even know how to put the microphone in the stand correctly. You'll see this. And that's a different form of abuse. That's the abuse of why ain't I getting what he's getting. These are all, and then one day you stop thinking that way. These are all self-inflicted type beatings.
Here's a question I have for you.
Go ahead.
Okay. Did the way this has helped me? So again, I don't know if it's superfluous or not, but the way I came, I never had anything, so I didn't fucking care.
No, me neither.
Like if you had more than me, everybody had more than me.
Yeah,
I don't give a fuck.
I didn't give a fuck.
So and that was my question. So that I think because there's also a burden from coming from something. Like if you have parents that have expectations. And you have this time clock where if I don't do this by this, they're going to judge me. I was very fortunate. I didn't have that. I just had a mom that loved me and said, Brett, do whatever the fuck you want to do and be the best at what you do. Right? But there is those kids that come here that have that come from something that can't handle if somebody has more than them. Or they feel that they're being judged or that, they have that pressure.
Brett, how many people have we
Then there are
seen
those
come
bitch
and
ass
go?
fucking dudes that's in their nature. Oh, a shit ton.
Come and go.
A shit ton.
And how many more? And listen to how scary this question is. How many of these guys left and had more talent than you did? That were more naturally talented. I seen more people leave that had more natural talent than I have in my fucking, and they ran out of here. Natural talent. Good looks. They could sing. They could do something that I couldn't fucking do. Voices. Something.
But if you asked me 8 years ago who my top 5 or top 10 were, I would say right now, America knows who they are now. And it has no help by the end, with the exception of Leslie Jones. I remember watching Leslie in the back where she got on Saturday Night Live. Well, I guess Rogan too. Rogan was already kind of known. But Sebastian, you, fucking Theo. Theo's starting to get starting to blow up. The internet knows who he is now. You know, Bill Burr was always my number one. You guys were in my top 5, but we have the older brother thing too for you. You know, and even with Joe.
Bill Burr made me laugh for years.
Burr's fucking phenomenal.
Burr makes me laugh.
You know what's
years.
great about Burr is that he's the perfect combination of writing and you know who he is. It's like a perfect storm. But there was a night the other night at the Comedy Store. I had to go on earlier. This was like months ago. I think Argus opened, and then it was like Spade, and then he brought up Rogan. No, Rogan brought you up. It went Burr, me, Rogan, and then you. And the place was sold out. And I just remember watching your fucking set when you said you ate her pussy as a homage to your mom.
So what? As an homage to
my
my mom.
Yeah, because your mom told you got to eat the chocha.
You gotta eat the chocha.
And we were in the back, and the place was packed, and it was like a fucking. I saw everybody's set, obviously, but my own. So I stepped back. I watched some of Joe's, went out of the room, came back. It was like a fucking concert. It was like hard. Nobody left, and it was just like. And I'm like, this is stand up. It's not a notebook on the stage with your fucking thoughts. It's not a PSA. It's not looking for the clapter. It was just raw, real, opinionated, unapologetic. And it was just, and I remember sitting in the back with the door guys and just sitting there going, and you feel inspired. That's what good comedy does. It's not like if you don't look at somebody and go, I got to be better than them. It's, they make me work hard. They make me want to be better. Does that make any sense?
Yes. No, it does. It does. I love getting high and going to the store and sitting in the back and watching 5, 6 comics in a row and not getting up. I hate when somebody sits next to me and I got to talk to them. I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
I love sitting in the dark and letting your body just crinkle, and you got that water and you're just watching and you're giggling and you're watching you and Ali Wong and Ron White or Dalia, and it's like a roll. It's like a 6 comic roll. I got enough to sit through 6. I'm not going to land nobody, which is an hour. That's an hour.
I don't watch people's specials. I got to be honest with you.
No. I want to watch it live.
Yeah,
I want to watch it live.
I watch everybody before me, and then somebody who follow me, or like if you're on Holtzman, I'll run in. Sebastian, I watch, but he's my best friend. So we hang out.
I always watch him. I'll watch him on Tuesday nights and see what the fuck he's working on.
But getting back to you, okay? So you got to ask yourself, what are you trying to say? And you're not really going to figure that out yet. Not 4 years in.
I'm only 6 months in.
Oh yeah, what am I talking about?
But it's
you got a long time to go.
That's why I tell them that it's this.
Take your time. It's like having sex. The first time you have sex, you just sit there, you do missionary, you come, you're like, oh, I want to do it again, right? You don't really get good at it. It's like you develop your own style, your own rhythm, and it's only through experimenting. You can be the dudes, who knows.
How long have you been doing comedy right now?
21 years.
Okay, so when Lee, explain to him when he comes to you.
And I got my master's degree at the Comedy Store.
And he tells you, like, what he went through last night. Like, you don't even need to know the story.
No, you don't have to fucking know.
It's the funniest thing. We've already been there. We've seen all this shit.
We're like, yeah.
It's so funny that we'll have discussions, and, I mean, he's seen a lot. I like how Eleanor, like what Eleanor is doing. Mm-hmm. Eleanor sat there for 15 years and watched 20 fucking careers blow up. And then she said, you know what?
I could do this.
I'm going to become a comic. And now you see her on fucking Mark Maron and this and this. And it's inspiring to watch. And
absolutely.
It's the same thing I told with Lee. I go, Lee sat there for 5 years. And he watched negatives and positives. He would go on dates and go to the store with his girlfriend and watch comics and go to
We Henry Hill you through the kitchen.
Yeah, he would go to the kitchen.
Get a room, you two.
You get a room. You're always here. But it's just funny that those guys, they watch it. They study it. He's been watching stand-up since he was 15. Mm-hmm. He loves John Pinette,
But at the same time, the only way you can experience it is by experiencing it.
Oh, absolutely.
And there's nothing you could fucking see or do that comes short to anything we've seen or done.
Well, that's why I've been doing as many mics as I can, because because you were saying good comedy inspires you. It does. And because there's a difference between bombing and bad comedy, I think. And sometimes when I see, because I go to a ton of open mics, I'll see bad stand-up, and that inspired, because I don't want anyone to think, oh, he's just getting on because Joey knows
can I
him.
say one thing to echo that point?
Okay.
Good comedy can only inspire you when you're at a certain point.
Okay.
When you know how it inspires you. Does that make any sense? Like, in other words, when you're 6 years old and you're watching Dr. J play basketball, or Michael Jordan or LeBron James, right? You're like, wow, I want to play basketball. And even in Little League, you still don't know what it's like. You're playing the game, but you just want to be there. It's once you get in the league and you really fully understand what you're doing and how the game is played, is when those guys, you really see what makes them great. One of my favorite movies is Amadeus, right? And when Salieri's listening to Mozart, he just is so frustrated because everybody's clapping, right? And they don't hear the brilliance that he hears with that trained ear. And once that ear is trained as a comic, I can listen to somebody do a joke and the audience not respond to it, and you go, that's fucking brilliant. How do they not see that? Your nuances, the shit you throw out that are like little time bombs, that you'll say something that it's just naturally you, right? And then, like, I don't get sick, I eat ass, I swim. No, that fucking just, that resonates through the crowd. And you're hearing it with a different ear. Where you're at right now, you're listening to bad comedy. See, I don't need to do bars. I got everything I got out of a fucking bar. I don't need to connect with I do all that. Now it's a different thing for me. Watching bad comedy can inspire you, which is where you're at now, right?
Yeah, I mean,
but 90% of these comics are going to be awful.
Well, it's weird because if we're gonna go with the analogy you just said about sports,
right?
I think maybe because I've been with Joey for 7 years, but 6 years on the podcast. I feel like maybe I was in high school. Maybe that's where. Maybe 8th grade, 9th grade.
What do you mean?
If you're in the major leagues,
right?
Like I'm like a 9th grade freshman team baseball player. I'm 6 months in. I should be 6 months
right
old.
Now you're in the Pee Wee football league right now.
Pee Wee, whatever. Okay.
Yeah, just because you hang out with fucking
you're in
Lou Gehrig or Babe Ruth doesn't make you fucking Dave Justice.
You think high school's old? I thought high school was young.
No,
I love by the way, all my ancient baseball references.
You're getting
just because you hang out with Ty Cobb.
So I'm like a Pee Wee who's hanging out with high schoolers or something?
You're a fucking Pee Wee football player right now. You're learning how to block.
Now this is a good thing for you, but it also could be detrimental.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's why I told him to slow down.
Slow the fuck down.
Slow down.
You can't.
I told him when he was booking a room, I goes, nah, just get the fundamentals for right now. This is why I don't like comedy here in the beginning. It makes them think too much. Comedy where I started, you don't even get a headshot. You just get on stage.
No, you just got to get up.
Just get up.
Keep getting up.
Here, you need a headshot. In Boston, there's no headshot. What's your name? Well, okay. You're going to do 20 minutes. Don't do abortion jokes. All right. You ready? Going to the stage.
See, but how long? You're at 25, right?
27.
27.
28 July. What is it?
Because you started in the almost mid-boom. I started at the end. So the way you guys came up, because when we were at the store, it's funny too. I was listening to Bert's podcast, and some girl was saying how like the Comedy Store should give its white males should give their spots up to women or whatever. It was some fucking crazy interview. But I remember thinking 4 years ago they wouldn't even be talking about the Comedy Store.
No.
Nobody was there.
No, nobody
5 years.
was there.
We was just us in the back. Well, before you guys left after the whole Carlos thing. Before that, there was nobody fucking there.
Nobody was there.
And you get a set at 11:30 in the morning in front of 5 people, or even better yet, 1:15 after Eddie Griffin just did 4 hours, and you got to entertain 3 people. You know what else makes a comedy store great? There's no fucking MC. So if I do well and I bring you up, you got to follow that, or I got to follow Chappelle, or I got to follow Rogan, and Rogan's got to follow Burr. There's nobody going, hey guys, let me do 2 minutes and bring up the next comic. It's just fucking one after another after another. And if the person bombs, you got to figure out how to get out of it. If they kill, you got to figure out how to ride the wave. If it's somebody famous and half the audience gets up to get their fucking autograph, you got to figure out how to fucking, and it's this little, like Sam Tripoli says, it's like trying to crack a safe. And after a while, you start seeing all these different scenarios, and then you're like, I can fucking handle anywhere, any place. And that's anytime. Throw me anywhere.
27 years, 28 years, any place, I can handle any fucking scenario. You know, I've done Craig, Colorado, where the audience is 80 feet away and there's a fence up. You know,
Sebastian talks in his book when me and him had to do this fucking gig in a boxing ring in fucking Modesto. The point is, you need at least 10,000 of those.
Did you guys ever see the Tom Cruise movie where like he kept kind of like Groundhog's Day, but he was in a war?
Yeah. He kept repeating it.
He kept repeating
repeat.
it.
I think it's called 3, 2, 1 repeat or
something like that. It was
spitting all over the fucking.
Tom Cruise is always decent, but he by the end of it he knew he had just mastered it, but he had to go through it each day again and again and again, and he would just learn one little thing. And yeah,
That's a good analogy.
I'm not trying to say that I know anything. I'm just saying like I've gotten to see what good and great comedy is, and now I'm back there. So I feel like I have sort of like a cheat sheet that some people don't have, or I don't know what it is.
But I'm saying that could hinder your growth. Though.
Absolutely.
So
well, the cheat sheet is they got to work. That's the cheat sheet. Out of all the people that have come in here, we've all had, the only people I bring on here are hard workers. That's one thing. I've never brought up fluff in here. I don't believe in fluff. I don't believe in smoke and mirrors. I see people.
That's my next question, because I'm the same way. People. I gravitate to guys like us,
yes,
like you.
I'm blue collar.
I could be in a room.
I don't want to hear none of your bullshit shortcuts. I don't like shortcut people. They bother the fuck out of me. You know why? Because for years I did shortcuts. They got me nowhere. There's no shortcuts.
The other thing I had a problem with is I had a poor kid's mentality at a point where I was okay with it. You know, I'm okay with fucking, all right, I'll go up. I'll show them, like that type of shit. There is a thing to when I started hanging out with people more successful than me. I saw a trait in them that they had that I didn't. And that was giving yourself value more. You know, because again, if somebody had something, I would always be like, I don't care. I don't give a fuck. I used to walk around with the generic sneakers. I used to get in fights all the time. I remember my mom. I said, I need a pair of Nikes. My life depends on it. Then I didn't know somebody's gonna try and rob them. But I'm saying, like, you know, I'm always fighting these kids we used to call them Bobos. You know, like no name sneakers and shit. Bobos, cat heads, they were called. And
if your sneakers slip and slide, take them back to Panty Pride. All that
we used to go Bobos, they're so fine. That's why they cost $1.99.
Yeah, like it's fucking crazy.
When you're a kid, it's everything. Anyways,
you get teased.
But when I was around successful people, there was a mentality that they had, like you know, where they're like, this is what I deserve, and I'll expect nothing less. Like for me, if a guy said to me, okay, I stopped doing this. I used to say yes to everything, because I'm like, when the fuck am I gonna work again? I need this. We're gonna put you up here. And I'm like, fine, I don't give a fuck. I'll sleep in the car. You know what I mean? And I just found that was attracting. And once I stopped that, I started getting better things. Once I'm like, you know what? No. I'm one of the best in the business, or, you know, most respected, I should say, amongst my peers. You know, granted, I'm, you know, whatever. I deserve this. And if I don't get this, fuck you and fuck your room. And then they'd come back, okay. And I just realized that there was a lot of things I was saying yes to.
I did it. Dog, I got beat up for 6 or 7 years longer than what I should have got beat up for.
Because of that
I still remember asking somebody once, and they told a friend of mine that Joe Diaz is getting a little bit too big for his britches about 10 years ago, because they played a trick on me. They conned me to go up there for a certain amount of money, and then when I got up there, I was the headliner, and I was taking pictures with people and all this shit from the longest yard, and I'm like, and he was like, man, we really want to do it again. And I go, this time we got to up the status a little bit. And he goes, oh, no.
I know who that is.
It's always going to stay at 200.
I know exactly who the fuck that is.
And I said, I'm not fucking doing it.
I'll tell you how fair who that is.
And he told somebody, he goes, I think Joe Diaz's head's getting a little bit too big. No, you got to ask for what you're worth for. This is what I'm doing. This is the work I do.
Two things changed me: doing comedy in the Middle East, and when I was given it one night before Thanksgiving, I was able to keep the door. And I saw what I made in that one night. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you realize how long they've been robbing you for.
Well, yeah, but then but it is, look, it's a symbiotic relationship. I need the venue, you know, but then I started doing my own little offshoots and just keeping everything.
Right.
And you're like, okay, now I can fucking live like a person.
Listen, we saw Stanhope do it.
Yeah, Dougie's always been at it.
He's always been at it again.
He's always been at it.
When he told the guy in Columbus about his retarded son, remember that this all started at a Funny Bone with him and Sean Rouse, just caused havoc. And
rest in peace.
Rest in peace. they caused havoc at a Funny Bone, and fucking Stanhope, after Sean Rouse like insulted the dude, Stanhope went up there and insulted the dude again, and the dude banned Stanhope from all the Funny Bones. And then they tried to, I forget the guy's name, and they tried to ban him. Then he had his balls shaved in Austin, so he was shaved from that. He was banned from that club.
Wait, he had his balls shaved on stage?
Yep, he got a girl to shave his balls on stage.
Okay.
And then he got banned from Austin, and a couple other clubs said, we don't need that in our lives. And then he went to Ohio or one of those clubs. Somebody, not Cleveland, not Columbus. I forget what the guy's name was. And he went to his club, and the guy had a small man complex. And he's got a kid that's got problems, like some type of physical ailment.
To me, that's off limits.
But Stanhope didn't give a fuck because
Yeah.
Sean Rouse went up there, hammered, went off. And then something happened. The guy insulted Stanhope, and Stanhope said something to him about the kid. So the guy went after Stanhope and tried to ban him.
I never
from a
heard
bunch
this
of
story.
clubs.
That's crazy.
So
I meant more about how he started doing the bars and
Well, Stanhope said,
and going up to Montreal and crashing everything.
Yeah, well, Stanhope said, you want to ban me? Okay. I'll call the club across the street from you, and I'll do a fucking 100% door deal. He was doing that 10 years. I remember going to see him in Hollywood with Rogan on fucking Hollywood and some dump. Mm-hmm. And he had fucking 700 people in that dump standing up, yelling, throwing beer bottles and shit.
Yeah.
Me and Rogan walked out of like, that was fucked up. But he was fucking carrying
making cash
all the way to the fucking bank. It's crazy. It's crazy what we've done to see.
But what I'm saying though, where you're at now, you guys you guys are finally. I was saying this the other day. Joe Rogan and Chelsea Handler did more for comedians than any of the late night talk shows. In
That's a true fucking statement.
except, I mean, if you count Chelsea as a talk show. But what Joe's done for people is amazing. And what Chelsea did for the people on her show. Think about that. Think about all the people that we know that were able to come off on that.
Ali won.
Yeah. And Josh Wolf, Cap, even though I know you guys have a beef, which I found out about that. I don't want to talk about that. But who else? But look what Rogan did for everybody, man.
But this is what... But this
Because
is
they have the stink. Because the comics, you need a stink. You need a road stink. You need something to you that you look at another comic and be like, okay, I see the miles in your eyes. This guy, this is a comic. And that's the other thing. We don't play that male-female shit at the Comedy Store. Yeah. I always hear people talk that. It's like,
I don't look at that.
I don't
either.
fucking, none of us do.
I don't know what the fuck they're talking
All the girls that perform there are fucking never once.
One thing I do want to stress, that there's a mild misconception about podcasts is that people think because you go on Rogan, your life is going to change.
No,
Or if
not
you
at
come
all.
on here- No. You have to cover the spread. You have to be able to still do the things that you do every day, every fucking single day. It's like when you popped this show. While you were shooting the first couple episodes, did you think this was going to go anywhere? No, you didn't.
I just took it as
You
a
were
job.
like, this is a job.
I'm a 20-year veteran. I'm just, I hope this goes well. I've been here before. I've hit a lot of triples.
And look. And now you're going back for a second season.
Hopefully, yeah.
Hopefully. You
Yeah.
know, whatever. Who knows? Who the fuck knows?
But you do know that we get to a point to where you come out like this, and then you're like this, and then you're like this, and then you're just like, you know what I mean? Just whatever it is. I know I hope they caught that on the video, but you come out wide-eyed, then you get a little angry, then you get a little like fuck it, and then you get normal. And
what
you
a
get
fucking
centered.
journey.
Oh, it's
What
crazy.
a beautiful.
I love it. I would,
Beautiful.
if you told
beautiful
me
journey.
in the beginning that I would be here and that I would have been at the Comedy Store, and that was the one thing I had at being at Mitzi's thing, is looking at being a part of that history. And to me, my history is with you, Rogan, Sebastian, you know, when it was on the ropes. And let's be honest, I mean, we helped bring that place back. And between Maron and Rogan always talking about on the podcast, and people were like, let's see the fucking zoo. And you as well. And then all these people came, and they can't control what they think comedy is. They can control what they want to put out there, but the internet allows people to see you. Because let's be honest, a lot of our comedy, if we were playing by their rules,
No, dog.
they would just keep you in the back. This person has to say this. We're doing we need to push this. And now people could be like, oh, did you see so-and-so on? Oh, really? Let me pull this guy up for you. Look at Bill Burr fucking shit on Philadelphia.
Doug, what do you think people do from 9? Our window used to be from 8 to 10 at night. A late night talk show. No more.
It's
Our window's
all
from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Bitch, I got to get the fuck out of here. I'm happy
Good.
that you came on. I'm happy I saw you a few weeks ago. I'm happy for your success. If you haven't seen Bret on fucking Cobra Kai, you're missing out. It's amazing that when I heard about it, I could lie to both of you guys. I had a feeling.
Really?
I had a feeling because America's looking for that nostalgia. This TV is not working. This diversity, my neighbor's gay TV, it's not working. It's not 8 to 10 o'clock. There's times I'm reading my daughter a book and I don't see the word stupid. I don't want to hear that word anymore in kids' books. I don't want to hear. I see some Disney shows that say some fucked up shit. I grew up on Family Affair. I grew up on the Waltons. I grew up on a different American type of TV, and they got to bring that back from 8 to 10. They're going to lose it.
But you said you knew because of the nostalgia thing.
I had a funny feeling.
See, I read it.
I had a funny feeling.
When I read it, at first I was nervous because you saw the fanboys online wanted to hate it.
Everyone wants to hate everything.
Right.
Everything wants to hate it. But let me tell you something. A couple of years ago, I did a movie with the Cobra Kai teacher and Johnny, the blonde.
Yeah.
Ask him. A Dean Cain movie. Me, Dean Cain, and those guys. We did in fact, they had a karate school in the Valley. So it was like a fake. It's crazy. Yeah. It's the dog that saved one of those. The last one I did, where I dressed up like a woman, the two guys from the Karate Kid are in it. Not the brunette, the blonde, and the teacher.
Billy Zabka.
Yeah, and the kid that was in Rambo.
Yeah, Cleese. John Cleese.
I grew up on that
what's
movie.
His name? Sensei Kreese. John Kreese.
John Kreese.
I grew up on that movie the same way that you won't watch the new Mechanic. I didn't see the new Karate Kid with Jaden Smith.
It's not bad. I don't hate it. Everybody hates it.
I haven't seen it.
I liked it. But it's not like it doesn't give me, because there was a thing with Daniel LaRusso's mom,
right,
and Randy Keller, Randy Heller, right, and when they first moved, she came from Newark, and they were together, and I always thought that was how my mom was. Hi, boys, Are those your friends? And they're like, nice car, Miss LaRusso.
You moved out here to California. I hate you and all this shit.
But there was all that turmoil. And then I had that relationship with my mom. And there was always our movie. And then when I got to do scenes with her, I couldn't believe it.
Bret Ernst, where can they find you?
Just if you guys want, I released my special for free at bretcomedy.com. You can go there. You can donate to own it. You can buy a T-shirt. You get the download for free. Or if not, just go watch it.
Just go watch the fucking
Just go
thing.
watch it. Give
and
me your email
when he comes to your town, go watch
then
him
go
and say
buy
hello.
a ticket and say
That's
hello.
it. It's nice and easy. It's always
Bret
a pleasure.
Comedy, BRET comedy.com. I love you guys. Thank you again, man.
Bro, it's always a pleasure to see you.
You're my boy,
You crack
man. I'm
me
glad
up.
we were fucking dying in the. This is by the way, this is a kitchen conversation we had today.
This is it. This is
we're getting into each other, trying to fucking.
This is it. But as usual, I want to thank Onnit, the best. The Mexican chocolate protein powder, the new shit, fucking delicious as fuck. I love the Shroom Tech Sport, and I love the Shroom Tech Immune. Alpha Brain, 100% money back guarantee. They don't even want the product back if you don't like it. Who does that? Who does that? Onnit. That's who does that. Go to Onnit.com right now and press in.
Church.
Bam! Get 10% off delivered right to La Casa. You understand me? Right to your fucking crib. That's how Onnit does it. Number 2, hiring is challenging, but there's one place you could go where hiring is simple, fast, and smart. A place where growing businesses connect to qualified candidates. That place is ZipRecruiter.com/church. CHURCH. You're like, Joey, why do I have to go to ZipRecruiter? Why? Because you want the best qualified person out there for your job. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for a qualified candidate. And it takes a long time, not with ZipRecruiter. You're like, why? It used to be hard. Multiple job sites, stacks of resumes, confusing review process. No more. Today, hiring can be easy, and you can have it go in one place and get it done 1, 2, 3 with ZipRecruiter.com/Joey. Why? Because with the powerful matching technology, ZipRecruiter scans through thousands of resumes to find people with the right experience and invite them to apply to your job. ZipRecruiter is so effective that 80% of employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? ZipRecruiter sends your job to over 100 of the web's leading job boards, but they don't stop there. With results like that, it's no wonder ZipRecruiter is the highest rating hiring site in America. Did you hear that? ZipRecruiter is the highest rating hiring site in America. So do me a favor right now. The church family, you can try ZipRecruiter for free, gratis, ugats, nothing, nothing at this exclusive web address. Ready? Grab a pen. ZipRecruiter.com/church. CHURCH. That's ZipRecruiter.com/church. CHURCH. It's that easy. You're looking for somebody, you want the right candidate, ZipRecruiter.com/Joey. I want to thank /church. I'm sorry. It went away from me. I want to thank my man, Bret Ernst.
I forgot to mention too. If you guys like my podcast, check me out on You're on the List. You can add it. You can subscribe at Bret Comedy, BRET Comedy.com, and watch the special for free there. And check out Cobra Kai season 2 coming up.
You're beautiful, brother.
I love you, man.
Love you. Thank you. And I'll see you motherfuckers Wednesday. Tip top Magoo. Have a great day. It's the second half. Grab your ball. Salute the flag, bitches. We're going deep. Kick that fucking mule, Lisa. Yeah.